Welcome to STENDHAL's The Red and the Black. And this time, though, here we go. This is a full book summary of the book, and I love full book summaries of books. So let's get this started, and let's make this showy. First of all, Stendhal himself made this character, Julian, as our protagonist. Julian himself is part of the aristocracy, not part of the aristocracy yet, but he is from a poor family. He comes from a working class family where his family went ahead and started chopping logs at the log mill for a living. His father was described as really abusive, and he himself abused Julian a lot, beating him up whenever he was reading his book. He is really handsome looking though, and and that's what won him some points. Only recently did girls start liking him a little bit and started attracting his looks. So they never chose him yet. Then one day, after there was this doctor who he had to give his respects to, he had to give his thanks to, because, well, he was the one who taught him Latin, he was the one who gave him the books after he died. And then there was this clergy guy who came in and he asked for Julian, and he asked Julian to do something about it. And then Julian was like, what do you want me to do something about? And the clergy said, I want you to be a tutor towards these kids, towards like these aristocrat kids. Wait, why me? I'm from a low class. And he says, it's because you know Latin. Pretty much that's one of the few things that happened. And then after he and his dad, this didn't actually happen, I'm just trying to describe it like this. He and his dad, who was really abusive, went ahead and agreed on a salary that was way higher than what they could even imagine. Julian was sent off to this noble home. He would never come back home ever again. And then the guy who was in charge, I think he was Monsieur there now, he said, yeah, never give any of this money to your father. Got it? He's a jerk. I have to agree with you on that. Good. There he met Madame de Renal, and then Madame de Renal was expecting someone who looked like a Neanderthal, I suppose, but instead of someone who looked like a Neanderthal, what she got was, well, this charming beauty, this incredible, beautiful person. And she was taken aback a little bit, not knowing that peasants could look this good as well as be this smart. And then the man of the house, the woman of the house, and their 3 kids decided that, hey, we need to test your abilities a little bit. And then he said, all right, little kids, you over there. Now here's the thing. I really need to do something about this. Eventually, you will go ahead and repeat Latin, just like me. But for now, to show that I can go ahead and do Latin, I'm going to make you get a page from this Bible and read one word from it, and I'll recite the rest of it as if I'm speaking French. The oldest son chose a page. He recited the entire thing in Latin, which went ahead and made this guy like go, wowza, what the heck is this guy doing here? What is happening? Eventually going ahead and just quoting alleged lines of Latin. It's Latin for sure, but alleged lines of Latin. It might not exactly be Latin as well too. What happened next to him? Well, the thing about Julian was that he started going ahead and learning about the aristocracy. He started learning the tips and tricks on going up into the higher scales. And he started learning the tips and tricks on how he could go ahead and woo people into things. He himself just woos women, not for pleasure or for marriage, to be honest, or not even for love. He just wanted for power. He wants to be like this Machiavellian kind of guy in this post-Napoleonic Wars kind of framework. He himself has went ahead and participated in all of Napoleon's own campaigns. But in the end, though, after Napoleon was exiled, and this is probably after Napoleon died, he went ahead and said that, okay, this is the time when we go ahead and do something about this. This is the time that we go ahead and do something. He has to rise up at the ranks, but because he doesn't exactly have a net to support him, he has to bend the rules a little bit. So 101 guide on what Julian does. Step 1, woo the woman of the house. And go ahead and destroy any other distractions. There was this maid who tried to propose to him, but then he was like, no. One of the reasons why, because he wanted to move up, and that would be a distraction. Step number 2, he would go ahead and gain some prestige, go into like fancy outings, go ahead and make a name for himself, and boom, 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 make himself go up in the ranks. It's like a game, and you level up. And then step number 3, try to make an affair with the woman of the house and try not to get caught as much as possible. And potential step number 4, if caught, run away and do whatever you want to still keep this lovership arise. So this might backfire on him later. He went ahead and started wooing the women of the house, and he himself actually fell for the women of the house. Note, the woman in the house, Madame de Renal, is already married and already has 3 kids. The thing about this, though, is that they went ahead and bonded their love. They went ahead and did whatever they could to go ahead and make sure that this would stay. This didn't exactly work out because this backfired. So what happened next? Well, we went ahead and learned something about them. We went ahead and found out that they were all kind of, how should I describe this? It would be best to describe it as they were taken aback. They were found out, and then they had to move away from each other. They had to go, alright? This pairing, this true pairing, not gonna happen anymore. I'm so sorry, but it's not gonna happen anymore. So, he has to initiate step 4. He ran away from the place, though he does send letters back to her, allegedly saying these letters, so he doesn't exactly read the letters that she sends towards him. He goes to Paris, I believe he was Paris, and then he goes ahead and learns stuff. He goes ahead and starts learning more about the aristocracy, and finds a new woman. Her name is Mathilde. Mathilde is an interesting character. She thinks highly of herself, and in fact, one of the reasons why most of the suitors that she goes ahead and meets, she rejects, is because she thinks that they're all, wow, they're just saying words. That's just words. They don't mean anything. But then when she meets Julian, though, she finds him the perfect person for her. Because of his insincerity, he just says the truth no matter what, even if it will pierce her. And she finds this pretty attractive too. And eventually they go ahead and court a romanticship. And this doesn't sit well with her father. This obviously doesn't sit well with her father. And definitely does not sit well with Madame de Renal. Even getting to, now he has 2 women wanting him, and then they're both probably just going to fight for the heck about him. He even got Madame de Renal on down to her knees. Probably planning on Mathilde and down to her knees as well too. And next thing that happened is Julian did something terrible. He, attempted to murder Madame de Renal on the church that he was in, that he looked at in the book 1. And what happened next was that this was a little bit of a crime. He went ahead and did several criminal things back then, and then whatever he did, he landed himself in the jail. The important thing is he landed himself in the jail. Mathilde came and just promised that there will be a fair and trial jury, aka he's gonna get bribed jurors. The jurors will be bribed into giving him a yes. If you vote him for life, then we will let him live. But then Julian decided that, okay, this life isn't worth it anymore. This is a beautiful life, sure, but it's not one that's worth living anymore. And decides to just, you know what he did to get himself killed? He went ahead and slandered all the judges. He's all like, you jury, you're bad, you're effing bad. Everything kind of things. He just goes ahead and says a bunch of slanderous words onto him. I can't say swear words, unfortunately, so yeah. And they're all like, oh god, why are we doing this? And then they all voted, yeah, he has to die, kind of person. On the death row, he went ahead and felt that these were the last moments of life were the most refreshing, and he didn't really care if he died or not. He felt good. And then when the guillotine came down and his head came off, well, yeah, I don't think it was the guillotine that was he died, but eventually, whatever way he died, his head was cut off. Mathilde asked for the head to be adorned with marbles in Italy and buried with her in her grave when she died. And Madame de Renal was all like, alright, I'm not gonna kill my own life. But then 3 days later, she died while cuddling with her kids. And that's it. That's the full book summary of The Red and the Black. I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode, so I really hope you guys enjoyed it, because next time we're gonna be talking about the full book analysis. Bye-bye. Ooh, this is gonna be killer.